Hey guys, Mr. Linn here. I'm going to demonstrate how to make your own sketchbook. Really easy, doesn't cost very much, and you have your very own sketchbook for using in art class or for whatever you want. We're going to start with a couple pieces of cardstock. You can choose two colors that you like, and we're going to punch out 30 to 40 sheets of standard typing paper depending on how big a sketchbook you want to make or what your teacher decides. I think we'll probably go with 40 sheets in my class. And I use this hole punch to punch out the sheets already. Now, we got a couple different hole punchers. This one you can only do 12 sheets at a time, so you have to use it about 3 times and then some in order to get all of your 40 sheets. So make sure you don't put too many sheets in because it could jam. And then when you punch out your cover, you have to make sure you're using the same hole puncher because, believe it or not, they're not all the same. Some hole punches don't put the holes in exactly the same spot as the next one. So you just want to make sure to be consistent about that. If you use that hole punch for the paper, do it for this too. So we're going to go ahead and put this all into a stack. I decided I'm going to have the bright yellow be the front cover on this. And kind of make sure all the holes line up. Then I'm going to get my string. Now, I cut my string based on these handy little marks over here on the table. So at least 3 of the tables in here have these masking tapes marked at 36 inches, also known as a yard. So that's how long you want your string from here to be cut. So you'll need one of those. Then you'll come on over here and you're just going to start stitching up the binding on your book. Again, making sure it's all lined up. Sometimes it's helpful to kind of lick the string. It kind of gives it a little structure. So just go ahead and on one end start going down and then thread it back up. Maybe licking it isn't that helpful. Just made a little wet noodle here. Okay, like that. Makes for an entertaining video here, I'm sure, watching Mr. Linn try to thread a ring through while it's not going. Sometimes you might have to realign the holes. Maybe dropping it through the top like that is the way to go. Okay, so dropping it through the top, threading it through so you can see how the pattern is. Here's an important step. Make sure that this wraps around the end of the binding like that. And then we're going to go back down that same hole. And we're going to kind of straighten that out so it's nice and clean. I'm going to flip this over again so I can feed it down. That seems like the easier way to go about it. But you do have to make sure that your holes are aligned, or else you're going to have trouble getting this part to work. Didn't quite get it there. Going to use up all the storage on Tish's phone while we're taking this video probably. So that I can leave right there. And this one just has to do the same thing as the other end. So we'll wrap around the edge, come back up through the hole, and then we have this all tied up. You want to pull it kind of snug. Don't pull too hard on the string though, because it's not the strongest string in the world. It can break if you pull too hard. Now Tish is going to hold my knot with her finger. It's just an overhand knot like the first part of a shoelace. And then you do that a second time, and that's the most common knot in the world. It's called a double overhand. Doesn't have to be super tight, just kind of holds the binding together. Now I'm going to align these strings kind of along the binding over the holes like that. I'm going to take a piece of duct tape and I'm just going to start over with a fresh piece so you guys can see how easy duct tape is to rip. As strong as it is, the lateral way or the crosswise is pretty easy to rip. So just make it a little bit longer than the binding of your book. I said that and I tore it. So usually it rips nice and clean. Let's try it again. There, like that. Make sure the holes are covered. but you still have enough left over to wrap around the other side of your binding. And you can use a fun, colorful piece of duct tape. We just have the standard gray at the moment, like this. And then the last step here is just kind of trim the ends off. It's okay to have a little extra like that, because the extra sticky stuff you can kind of just stick on the end, and it kind of helps protect the book. And that's about all there is to it.